It's the JT Cho Show!
10, 9,
Oh, that went off his stick! That went off his stick! That went off that guy's stick!
3, 2, 1.
That was... Oh, he's great. He just...
What's going on?
It's the 132nd episode of the JT Show on
132.
Revenge of the 5th.
Revenge of the 5th, dude.
Day after May the 4th be
May
with
the
you.
4th has passed.
Yeah, now it's Revenge of the 5th.
Yep.
And we're all here for it.
Whose birthday you got for the 5th?
I have Mr. Superman himself, Henry Cavill.
Really? He's
Yeah.
born on May 5th. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I have Adele.
Adele.
She turned 35 today from Tottenham, London. Pretty sure Henry Cavill, whatever it is. I'm pretty sure he's British too.
He is.
Yeah.
And Henry Cavill was born in 1983.
83, okay.
And he just recently was quoted in an article that I read that said, "It's much more fun playing on the gaming PC than going out every night." Yes. And I was like, "You're right, brother.
Superman's a smart guy.
He's a really smart guy."
Smart guy. You know what? I was watching Trooper by the Dozen last night,
Yeah.
and the kid that played Superman in Smallville
Yeah.
is the oldest brother in Trooper by the Dozen.
Probably recognize
I didn't
him
know
if I
that.
saw it.
Yeah, it was. He kind of looks like Henry Cavill. Like he looks like a young version of him.
Yeah.
If I found out that was him, I'd be like, "Oh, crazy."
Weird.
But I believe it. Like if you right now you were like, "Yeah, no, that is him. The same guy. It's the second time he played Superman." I'd be like, "Oh, yep,
He's also in
Makes sense.
Smallville.
yeah, Smallville." Well, cheers to Superman and Adele.
Oh, great.
Who wins a fight, Superman or Goku?
You know, in the time-old tale where people just argue nonstop, I will have to say it's probably Goku at this point, if it wasn't already.
I think it's been Goku, even before Super Saiyan God.
Yeah, I'd say
Mainly because of the instant transmission.
yeah, and also with each fight and more experience that he gets stronger.
Yeah, Superman doesn't.
He's just the same.
Superman's just, yeah. But he's like maxed out all the time. Also, Superman doesn't fucking kill.
Yeah,
Goku kills motherfuckers.
he will straight up murder.
He will
motherfucker
he will destroy an entire world to kill you.
just to slap a motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah. He just wants to fight.
Yeah.
He wants to eat. He wants to fight. He wants to get better. That's all he wants.
Yeah.
That's all he wants. He'd rather do that than raise his own kids.
Who really wants to raise kids though?
I'd rather work out.
Yeah, I mean that's why people are always like.
I mean, he's the only motherfucker that could really do that. Him and Vegeta. I mean, they saved the Earth X amount of times.
People are like, you know, older people around my parents' age always ask me like, how come you're not dating anybody? And I'm just like, I mean, she's gonna have to be like something special because why would I want to be miserable when I can just have a great time all the time?
True.
So
Yeah.
like, I'd rather just hang out with my friends and golf and do the things I like than. Oh, I sort of like this girl, and she wants to go to a winery, not to drink though, just to look
that's
at
lame.
the
I was gonna say wineries are cool.
robust furniture that's going to be displayed, and you're like, we're not even going to go drink, you know, one of those things. You
Yeah,
know?
you gotta go. If I'm going to a winery, you best believe I'm getting carried out of there.
Yeah,
Speaking of May the 4th, what's her name? Carrie Fisher got on the Walk of Fame yesterday.
Luke Skywalker was there.
Luke Skywalker was there. Yeah,
And
I
then
think that's pretty cool. And I'm
one-
surprised that she wasn't already on it. But you know,
Yeah, that's true. What's weird is I'm not sure how the family balances play with her real family.
Mm-hmm.
I know one of her daughters was there, and then some of her family wasn't invited, and it has something to do with family
whatever.
drama.
Yeah,
And I was
she got
just
some Aaron Rodgers stuff going on.
yeah, something like that. And I was just like, damn, dude, fucking all these demons coming out because they all want to go to the fucking Walk of Stars celebration, and I think the main daughter was like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's her name got on there pretty recently too? Monica from Friends.
Wow.
She got on there recently, and it was funny because she was doing a whole Monica the bit when she was there, and like people were walking on her star, and she was like, "Hey, you can walk around." She had a little squirt bottle, and she was cleaning it every time.
That's hilarious.
And then she saw Jennifer Aniston's, and she was like, "Oh, she had to clean that one off too." So she was going around cleaning all her friends' stars. Pretty funny, very Monica. Of her. Yeah. I thought it was pretty cool.
I didn't know she didn't have one.
I didn't either. I thought it had been there, but apparently she just got. I think it was like a month ago, maybe a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. Jennifer Aniston has one.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, because I don't even know what else was the Monica chick in. I don't even remember her name.
It's past me at this point.
Yeah, I don't even know what else she was in. I'm sure she was in some other shit, but I can't remember it.
Nope.
I can name a million things that JN was in.
Yeah, I mean, even Chandler was in that basketball movie with Zac Efron.
Yeah.
And then Joey was in Last Man. No, not Last Man, but he was in a show. He was in a TV show.
Yeah, he had a TV show basically about his real life.
Yeah. And now he just buys bulldozers.
Does he really?
And he just drives bulldozers around his house.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty fucking cool.
I think he's got like 2 bulldozers, and he's just a guy just driving around the house.
Ross went on to do a lot of good things too. He was in Not a Few Good Men. We Were Brothers, or that HBO Army show from like World War II.
Wasn't Ross in Saving Private Ryan?
He might have been.
He was in a good war movie.
I think you're thinking about the TV Band of Brothers. I think it was Band of Brothers that he was in. I know for a fact he was in Band of Brothers because he was like the captain. I don't know if he was in Saving Private Ryan. I know Vin Diesel was in that. I want to say Vince Vaughn was.
So David Schwimmer, Band of Brothers.
Band of Brothers, yeah. It was a war like documentary TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was actually really good. I watched it twice.
Who was I thinking of then? Yeah, because when I saw the Band of Brothers, I was like, holy shit, it's fucking Ross.
Yeah. I said the same thing when I saw it.
Yeah.
And I think he's been in a couple other things too.
He's been in Madagascar.
Madagascar, that was the other big one.
David Letterman's, not David Letterman, the co-producer of Seinfeld, Larry David, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, interesting.
It
seems like a show he'd be on.
Man, he's been in every Madagascar.
Yeah, I mean, he's the giraffe. He marries the hippo.
He's in a movie called Breast Men. 2 young doctors with the dream of making it big.
Oh, God.
Really big. That's the cover of the movie.
What are they doing, dick surgeries?
Probably breast surgeries.
I was going to say, it's got to be some type of plastic surgery.
It's probably one of those movies where, like, we do good breasts, and then some girl's like, I want the biggest breast, and, like, they're going to attempt the biggest breast in history.
Bet.
That's probably the movie. They're probably like, have you seen it? Yeah, and then the rest of it, I really don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Here's a movie called L.A. Law with, it looks like the old boy who was a cut stumper in that cheerleading movie, Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it looks
I don't think I've seen that.
Same here.
I think you were thinking of Chandler when you said the basketball movie with Efron.
Yeah, that's what Chandler was in. Yeah, that's what I said. Chandler was in.
You said Joey before.
Yeah, Joey had a TV show, and then Chandler had the one with...
Yeah, Chandler was in the basketball movie.
Yeah.
The 17 Again.
Yeah.
Actually, fun fact, one of my OG favorite movies ever. I had it on DVD, and I used to watch that bitch all the time.
It's funny, dude.
All the time. It's such a cool like premise. Obviously, everyone wants to go back in time and get a shot at it.
When I saw it, I was like, man, it'd be great to be an adult and then just fuck all these kids up.
Right.
Well, like, you understood the concept from, like, you weren't in high school and be like, oh, that'd be crazy. No, you're like, he was an adult and now he's my age again, and that would be dope because you could fuck with all these dumb people.
Just you'd have all the cool stuff. I would want to, if you could pick, go back in time, you're 17 again, quote unquote. Would you want to be 17 again in your time or right now? Like, would you want to be 17 again fucking, 15 years ago or 15 years ago?
Yeah.
I think so too.
Because I'm immediately going to get a job and I'm going to bet all the money I make on the next Super
on
Bowl.
Every Patriots game except for the Super Bowl in 2007.
Yes. And then
you're putting all of the winnings on
the
Giants because that's going to be great odds.
And then you hit Bitcoin in the early fucking 2009, 2010-ish. Then you're like, oh, this is going to be great, dude.
Yeah, I think that's obviously I think we've talked about it on here before.
And then as the Patriots win their last Super Bowl with Tom Brady, you put all the money for the Buccaneers on the Super Bowl before he goes to the Super Bowl, and they're like, why the fuck would you do that? They have fucking Jameis Winston. And then Jameis all of a sudden is gone, and Tom Brady's walking in, and everyone's like, how?
Dude, the Bucks were I think like plus 4,000 or something over the season for just Brady to sign with them.
Have you ever heard the old one of the guys who was doing really good at stocks, just making buku money, buku money, and so the federal government showed up, and they're like, "How the fuck are you doing this? Who's giving you information?"
And he said he was from the future. Yeah.
They would be like, "Are you from the future?" I'd be like, "Nah, I'm just really lucky." And then I would take like a cool $2 million at that point and like bet it on like, let's say, the Cav. You bet it on Golden State to beat the Cavs the second time in a row.
Oh yeah,
and then LeBron upsets it, and you're like, "Oh, darn it, guys!"
Gosh dang it!
Like I would definitely hit the biggest paycheck. Probably
LeBron would have a nickname. It'd be the Future Killer.
One of the biggest upsets you could have bet on Dirk beating that year, because the odds. I'd have to go back and look at the odds, but the odds had to be heavy Miami.
I think the biggest upset I could have done would have
probably
just been stacking.
I'd say it's the first Giants upset.
Well, if I go back to when I was 17, that would have been 2011.
Ooh.
So I think the next big upset was fucking the Patriots at halftime against Atlanta. Like that would be like just put my entire net worth on Tom Brady and the Patriots at halftime.
Imagine
that had to be plus like 5,000.
Yeah. Imagine going to a casino, right? And you're on one of those game pads, and it's the Seahawks Patriots game, and they're like, "Oh, all the Seattle has to do is run it in, and they'll win. What do you think the play is going to be?" And you just bet a cool like 100,000 on interception.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, dude, that's like plus 65,000 odds, and you're like, yeah, I know what's going to happen, and then it just goes.
That was so I was watching Hot Tub Time Machine the other night, and that was one of the things they did. They were betting the guy on the drive to Elway against the Browns.
Yeah.
Back in the day, and he's like, I bet you all of this money and a blowjob from your wife that Elway throws a touchdown pass with 27 seconds left to win the game. And he's like, 27 exactly? He's like, yeah. And he's like, what do I get if I win? He's like, whatever you want. He's like, all right, your buddy has to blow you. Or you have to blow your buddy.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, fine. And he's like, dude, what the fuck? I don't like you taking liberties with my dick.
That's the dude with
it's Daryl.
Daryl. Oh yeah, that's Daryl.
Yeah, it's Daryl. Yeah, Daryl and the white dude who's
in Sex Drive with the glasses.
He's also in that one. What the fuck was he in? He's the fucking. Did you ever watch Community?
Yeah.
He's the dickhead. That's the main dude's best lawyer buddy.
Yeah.
He comes back. He's the guy that turned him in. Him. He's the guy who's like betting all the cash or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I just thought that was funny. And then like the squirrel that he puked on in the beginning of the movie ran onto the field and tripped Elway.
Yeah.
And he ended up dropping the ball. And he's like, wait, what? The whole movie's fucking hilarious because at the end of it, he stays, right? He pushes his buddy in the hot tub and he stays. And like the guy's like, oh, hey, yeah, here's directions to your house. I looked them up for you on Loogle. And he's like, Loogle? You mean Google? He goes, no, silly, what are you talking about? And the kid's like, so if you want to look up a porn and you need a search engine to do that, you go on Loogle? He goes, yeah, everyone does. It's huge. And then he also created Motley Crue, but he renamed it Motley Lou.
Yeah.
Like, so he just did everything. They're like, oh, Loogle. He goes, oh, yeah, just $1 billion enterprise I did a while back. No big deal.
Exactly.
He's got some really shitty hair plugs.
I mean, like, could you imagine going back to like 1985 and just hit?
Was it? They went back to 87.
Yeah, and just but like let's say you go back to the 90s and start dropping like go to like 98 when rap is safe. Okay, not as safe as it is today.
I don't think it was Eazy-E didn't think it was very safe.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like right after that area gets safe and you're like, I'm gonna drop all of these Juice lyrics right now.
Oh yeah,
or
yeah.
Like,
the Juice lyrics go hard.
Or like
too.
imagine being in the 90s, like 95, and coming out with all of the A Day to Remember songs.
Because that's the time to do it too. Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, that was a good album," and you're like,
and then
also
popped off in the early 2000s.
Yeah, imagine getting on stage and singing a Blink song, and everyone's like, "This is the greatest fucking song ever.
I would say like Panic at the Disco would be a good one, but you'd have to find someone with pipes for that.
Have you ever seen the
because-
Beatles movie where that's the premise?
Oh yeah. I think we saw it together, didn't we?
I don't think we did, but I think
we might have watched it together or something. Because I can't.
I know I've seen it, but I don't know. I don't remember watching it with anybody.
I don't know. I definitely remember seeing it multiple times. But
Yeah.
yeah, and then he went and he like visited John Lennon
But because
because he was alive, just living on like some coastal area.
because
Because he never got shot. Because why would that guy shoot him?
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that the other people that remembered when they came up to
Oh
him,
yeah, they had the yellow submarine.
And they're just like,
dude, we're just so happy that the music is out there.
yeah, we're glad.
Yeah.
But man, just imagine just like knowing that's real and going like like me and you, not that guy because he was a semi musician, but like we gotta learn to play the piano. We gotta go to
Oh,
India.
dude, it'd be 10 years before we had anything recorded.
or we're just the world's greatest ghostwriters.
Yeah, that could be a thing. We'll just Benny Blanco it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just write for motherfuckers.
I would get in at least one song though, probably like Octopus's Garden or like fucking.
I mean, if it was just the Beatles specifically, I don't think I'd want to be in any of them. But if like, I don't know, like let's say like Jay-Z was just gone, I'd get in on some ad libs.
Whose musical career, if they just never existed, who would you? And like you're the only.
Well, I think I already know your pick, but wow, what do you think I could pull off?
No, you have to. Yeah, anybody.
Or I just get their talent.
You would just know their songs and basically have.
So I would have to perform them.
Yes.
Fucking no one. I don't know. I don't really have musical talent.
Let's just say you were good at it though. You're just
If I was good at it,
just like the Beatles movie. You had like
Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
That'd be the dopest.
That's a really good one.
Because he's already like he could have retired at 25 and just never done anything else ever again,
Yeah.
and still just collected royalties from all of his bullshit.
Honorable mention because it would probably be who I would like if the universe is like musician never existed, you take him over, Weird Al, and I'd be like, damn, dude, like that's sick.
I got Justin Bieber and you got Weird Al.
Yeah, that's what would happen.
They'd be all the people. They'd be like, yo, why is Biebs hanging out with Weird Al? Someone's like, dude, they golf every weekend together.
Every day. They tour together. They just
Bro, they just played Pebble 3 days in a row last weekend.
sells out the Madison Square Garden, and Taylor's at the local theater, killing it for a Thowey.
Oh man, that would be hilarious. That would be your luck. That would be your luck.
But realistically, I mean like Eminem, because like
That's what I figured you would pick.
yeah,
Yeah,
just because like from the Michigan aspect,
yeah.
and just how funny it would be, how great it would be to just say.
And now coming to the stage from Jerome, Michigan.
There's vomit on my sweater already. It's Mom's
Robin Spaghetti.
It's Robin Spaghetti with peanut butter garlic bread. I'm fucking living on fucking Baker Road is 8 Mile.
What you know about Baker?
Them over there, those neighbors are assholes. They don't mow the grass on time ever.
Oh man,
But
I'm
yeah,
out there dating fucking Selena Gomez. You're making Just Eat It. You're singing polka songs on the side.
Hey, check out this hit I
man.
rewrote. Cool.
Sick, man. You're like, bro, can I do one of your songs? No, man.
Well, he wanted to do one of the things I thought was the dumbest shit in the world because I love Weird Al is
Oh, it was the Beatles one, right?
yeah, he said it couldn't be chicken pot pie.
Yeah, he didn't want it. He wanted it to be vegan.
I'm like, how dumb is
Stupid.
that? Stupid.
Dumb.
Vegan pot pie. Like, stupid.
That's
Dumb.
dumb. Yeah, Beebs would be a fun one.
So I thought this was funny. We did the podcast that's going to be uploaded on May 5th. Last Friday. We're going to get better at editing these. But in about a week, we do about a week time recordings.
Yeah.
So last week, I was looking through my notebook. We were talking about baseball. The A's were 5-23 last time we recorded. Today, when I checked the records after talking about baseball, they are 6-26. They have like
Hey, we won a game in a week, all right? God damn it.
It's gonna be like that. Though. Could you imagine an under 50 win season?
I wouldn't be surprised if they've done it before.
They're going to the Raiders. I mean, they're going to LA.
Same thing.
They're following the Raiders.
It's actually Vegas, but yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to LA.
They're going
Raiders
to the
haven't
Raiders.
been in LA since the fucking 70s.
We're going to work.
Could you imagine if all the LA teams were just still in LA like they always were?
I would never go to a game ever.
Never.
Never.
They'd have 5 stadiums.
I would probably never visit there.
They'd have 5 fucking stadiums.
You would never want to go to the airport there. You would never.
It'd be a shit show. I don't like the airport there regardless, but
You know, so like
I've only flown through LAX twice, and both times it was just a fucking nightmare.
So you'll definitely see Green Bay, especially if I get those tickets this year for the owners meeting.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
And it's a small town with a football stadium.
Yeah.
So there's like their version of a Kroger right in town. I think they have Krogers in Wisconsin, but it's a smaller local chain.
Gotcha.
And then they have like a bank. I'm pretty sure a Red Lobster, but it's just like a tiny little town. And then there's like you see the houses across the street. And when a Packers game plays in, because there are a lot of hotels. There's a lot of hotels in the surrounding areas too.
I believe it.
The away team.
They probably make a shit ton of money on like away teams coming in and staying at
away
hotels
team
and shit.
stays at Appleton, I do believe.
Okay.
Which is
So they have like a specific
45-minute
Ooh.
bus ride.
I would see.
But you're getting
stay somewhere closer.
But you're getting a police escort.
Yeah.
So, but anywho,
Still, 45 minutes is a long time to be sitting down.
Those tickets for hotel prices, because then I googled them off football season, almost quadruple in price.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
And that's one single pro team in one area.
That's
so
the
if all
whole
California
economy.
teams moved to LA, you would pay like $3,000 a night for a hotel.
Yeah,
because
that'd be
all
insane.
the hotels. Would
I
be
mean,
booked.
it's already damn near like that, anyways.
Yeah. So it would be insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know what LA did back in the day when it had the Olympics?
No.
Way back in the day, I think it was like the 90s, maybe. They did the same thing in China too. They put a ban on driving vehicles 2 weeks prior to
to clear up the air.
To clear up the air.
Yeah.
And it looked fucking gorgeous. Like the pictures were
I've
insane.
seen the photos of night and day.
And they did the same thing in Hong Kong when they had the shit there. They shut down all the factories. The whole fucking capital.
They just said we'll
shut
stipend
down.
for the Chinese government.
Yeah, and then they built up all these fucking areas, and they made a shit ton of money because it's the fucking Olympics and the entire world watches. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's wild. That's wild. You just shut down people driving for a couple weeks, and the air just clears right the fuck back up.
Maybe we should just everybody works a month, shut it all down for 2 weeks.
Just keep a nice little roller coaster going.
Yeah, the earth cools down. Get a nice 2 weeks off. You can still get weekends off. You're not working a month straight.
Mm-hmm.
But you work a month straight, and then
Honestly, I would work a month straight if it meant that I only work 6 months out of the year.
that'd be so great.
One on, one off.
You'd work 9 months out of the year.
Well, if one month on, 1 month off.
Oh, holy shit, dude!
Yeah, I don't know what you're thinking about.
I thought you. I was saying you get 2 weeks off.
Oh no, I just meant like if it was 1 month and then 1 month, I would work 30 days straight for 30 days off straight. That'd be fucking dope.
Yeah, and then I'd call
That'd be
in sick
sweet.
for the first week.
You already know I would.
Can we take all of our personal days up front?
Let's try this.
I got clean glassware. You're like, hey, can I take all my PTO time at the beginning of my first 30 days? And then, nope. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, hey, no, I meant like, and then into my first 30 days. Well, sir, you'd only be working 1 day. Yeah, exactly. Okay, fine. I'll work the first day, and then you let me take the PTO.
Oh, by the way, guys, breaking news. If you're still watching, I got laid off, so I am now a full-time podcaster / amateur golfer. Probably until next week because I have an interview on Tuesday. So we'll see how long it lasts for. But this is what we got today. Fucking monster, spiked monster.
Spiked monster.
And this one is the white haze. I figured this one would be better than the OG green one.
I think so too, and also because it also tastes a little off, anyways, because it's white. Like the sugar-free green ones that they just came out with are probably some of the best sugar-free ones because they taste just like a monster.
I still have yet to try those.
But This little alcoholic pick-me-upper right here is kind of what I think I need to splurge us into the night for our 18 holes of golf tomorrow.
So this is 6% alcohol by content.
How many sugars?
I don't think it says.
What's it called?
Fluid ounces. The Beast Unleashed Hard Monster White Haze.
It's a seltzer. Hard seltzer calories. 130 calories.
Okay.
3 to 4 grams of carbohydrates. 0 sugars. So it's about 70 calories each for us. Less than a beer. It's really good.
There's no alcohol in that. There's no way.
Tastes
That tastes exactly like the White Monster.
even if you go slow. That's bad. Be careful around the... Can you imagine showing up with a 6-pack of these seltzers? We're drinking all night.
I don't taste the fucking bite. I don't taste like the alcohol, like, ugh. Like, I don't taste any of that. It literally just tastes like a fucking energy drink.
Because even when I think I'm about to get a bad taste,
it's just
the
sweet
White Monster.
then. Yeah, it's just a sweet monster taste.
That's weird. I like that. So I give that
Unleash the fucking beast. That's an 8.8 for me.
I was going to say it is an 8.4, only because I'm only drinking one of them.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not going to drink a bunch of them. I'm just basing it off the
Is there
fucking
caffeine
taste.
in this?
There's gotta be. I don't know if it says on there.
Calories, let's see. Nope, don't drink before. That's got to be a Googleable question. A Googleable question, though.
Yeah. Look it up.
I hope it is. Seltzer, caffeine content. All of the Beast Unleashed flavors will not contain caffeine. You heard us right.
That'd basically be a Four Loko at that point.
So
Zero
what you're
sugar
telling
Four
me
Loko.
is you take a white sugar Monster,
Oh, you cut it,
you cut it in.
or you cut it with a Four Loko.
No.
This is really fucking good.
Surprisingly, it is. And even though there's no caffeine, I feel like my body's natural reaction to this.
Yeah, it's like the placebo effect.
Like there's.
I feel like I'm just chugging a fucking Monster right now.
I feel like I'm gonna take too much caffeine and I'm getting anxiety.
What else do I got? Oh, I got some baseball shit. So the other day, like 3-4 days ago, for the first time ever, the Cardinals played the Angels without Albert Pujols in either one of their lineups.
Wow,
Isn't that crazy?
that's wild.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's nuts. He played for fucking ever.
Yeah,
Do you think Albert Pujols was older than he told people?
I think he is.
Yeah, I think so too.
I
I
think
think there's about 4 years difference.
I mean, I was gonna say 5 or under, but
Yeah.
he.
If I were to bet on a hard number, I think 4 years.
Like as good as people can look for their age, he still looks his age.
He looks decent, but like he definitely looks like he's
Older.
44.
Yeah.
Like he definitely looks like he is. But I don't know. I guess we'll see when he's supposed to be 78, but he looks like he's, in his early 50s
He just retires and he
or
goes.
early 80s.
He retired and he goes, yeah, I'd come out with that. Come out with that in a book.
I don't know.
You get a ghostwriter?
Can they fine him? Like
Not
I don't-
really. The only thing you lied about was your age.
I guess maybe the only thing they can get him for is if he forged like tax documents.
He won the the Kids World Series back in the day, Well, he said he was younger than he was, so he wouldn't be trying to be older than he was. So.
Oh, really? Oh, he's younger than he was. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so basically he's older than his actual age shows. That's what I meant by that.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, yeah, I'm pretty sure
So
it was older.
he
was
lied
older.
saying he was younger than he actually is.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So and he did that because they're like, how old is that guy, and they don't want to take a 25-year-old.
Well, it was because he was already like a refined player, but he wanted to look like he had more potential.
Yeah.
That was the whole idea.
They're not going to take a 25-year-old from that country.
I mean, they might have,
Yeah.
but he wouldn't have got as much money because he's not a rising star. He's just this guy that's pretty well refined. He would have made, I don't know, he probably would have made the same amount of money. That guy was a fucking baller.
Yeah.
His first contract would have been worth a lot less than what it was, though.
Another funny thing is last week we talked about Will Ferrell coming out with the golf movie.
Oh, yeah.
The golf show.
Yeah.
And this week we learned that Adam Sandler is going to make an appearance as Happy Gilmore.
Yep.
I don't know.
And
if
it's a show. I thought it was going to be a movie, but I guess it's going to be like a Netflix series.
Yeah.
And that's fucking cool.
Yeah, it's so great.
Yeah, and like I said before, dude, the dopest thing about it is you don't really have to write much of it. It's a fucking Saudi-backed league. You take these guys that are polarizing characters in the world of golf and you put them all in this fucking party golf league.
I hope it entourages itself in the way that in the first season there might not be as many cameos, but by the time the show's popularity
They bring on like
grows,
Rory or
bring on Brooks Koepka.
Brooks Koepka makes a fucking
Did you
appearance.
see his hole-in-one?
I did see his hole-in-one. Did you
Yeah.
see his other hole-in-one?
No.
Him and his lady are having a baby.
All right, well, I mean, that could have been 2 or 3. That could have been a par.
It was probably a hole-in-one.
It's probably a hole-in-one, and then he played 18 more holes.
That fourth live check hit, and he goes, all right, let's do it.
Sign this first.
Yeah, let me sign this. All right, here we go.
Currently, right now, Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Dranko.
Last weekend, we went golfing, and then our boy Pepper was here.
Yep.
Wait, no, that was the weekend before, wasn't that? That was the weekend before.
Wow.
But we still golfed, and then we stayed up drinking on last Saturday,
Yeah.
playing games, and then I ran the Cinco de Mayo race. And official times for a 32-year-old out-of-shape motherfucker who was sort of hungover was 23 minutes and 22 seconds
It's pretty good.
for a 5K.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And I almost...
You're getting pretty good at the 5Ks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that a 10K shirt you're wearing? What is?
Oh, this is the Woodstock shirt for the
Yeah.
half marathon that I ran.
Oh, the half marathon? What's
Yeah.
the back say?
The sponsors.
Oh, it doesn't say marathon?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because, they had to have it. What happened was, everybody, is I was running road
He's
courses.
a quitter.
I was running road courses my whole time training for 3 months. And this was a trail race, and it whooped my ass. So once I hit the halfway mark, which was literally the beginning of the start of the finish,
it was 2 laps.
and I said, ain't doing. If it would have been like, no, we're halfway out, I would have been like, we gotta keep.
You're lucky too. I almost went and golfed Timber Trace. I would have been like barely halfway done.
I would have walked.
I would have been barely halfway done because I was gonna go play like as soon as I dropped you off at the finish line and watched you run away. I walked back to the truck, and as I walked back, I called them, and they're like, "Yeah, we got a tee time, but it's not for another 40 minutes." And I was only like 10 minutes away, and I was like, "Fuck, that's like eating 30 minutes of time." It's like I don't know if I can get away with a full 18. And then I was like, I gotta buy shoes too because I don't have my shoes on me, and I'm wearing sweatpants. I was literally gonna go buy like a whole golf outfit and just go do it, but luckily I didn't. I stayed in the car and I watched YouTube. And you texted me a lot earlier than I thought. Yeah. And in my head, when I saw you text me, I was like, "Fuck, this guy's fast as shit." And then you were like, "I know, dude, I suck."
It was tough.
That's all right. And you were beaten and broken, and then we went home and we drank, and
we went to Earl's.
You did a little. Oh yeah. We went to Earl's and you drank, and it was a good time.
Yeah,
it's a good time.
Yeah, and then currently, during this series, the Warriors and the Lakers are tied 1-1.
Yep.
Who do you think is going to win?
The Warriors.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Warriors in 6.
Did you? So Klay Thompson
I don't think it's going to 7.
Shot like 60% in game 1. Awful. And then I think he shot in the 80 percentage.
60% is pretty fucking good.
It might have been worse than that. It might have been 40.
I was going to say, because 60 is like a really good average to have for a career.
Yeah, for a career too. True.
Yeah.
But he did a catch and shoot 3-pointer to where the ball was fed to him, and just like a one-timer in hockey, he didn't come down with the ball to reset.
Oh yeah, he just
caught it and went up with the motion fade to the right. And I was like, that was one of the most beautiful shots I've ever seen.
Smooth as fuck.
So smooth.
The way they do the catch and shoot shit for the Warriors is just it's wildly impressive. It's crazy. And I was talking to my little cousin Nathan about it. He's a shout out Nathan. He's a Warrior fan. Grew up in the Bay. I'm a Kings fan. And he hit me up and he was like, yeah, dude, Kings are holding on there, man. You can't really be mad at the Kings. And I was like, well, yeah, nobody hates a losing franchise. Like, nobody hates a losing franchise. That's just the way it is. Nobody hated the Browns unless you're a stupid Steeler fan. Nobody hates the fucking A's. Like, it's just the way it is. Nobody hates losers. Everybody hates a winner.
Yeah.
Nobody liked fucking Floyd Mayweather unless you were betting money on him.
Yeah.
Nobody likes that fucking guy. Nobody liked Tom Brady until he went to the fucking Bucks. And even then, they hated him because he won the Super Bowl there, too. So it's, people
Like,
just
it was
hate...
nothing.
People hate fucking winners. People hate winners.
I think it's just because they win so much, they just keep beating their teams over and over and over, and it just builds up a...
Well, just, I understand, because, like, people used to bitch at me all the time. They're like, oh, Patriots, fucking, they're always there. Put someone new in there. It's like, well, yeah, but that's not really how this works. Like, if you're really fucking good, you're going to make it there and give yourself a chance every year. And you take advantage of those chances, you're probably going to be in a Super Bowl.
Right.
That's the way it is. And at one point, Brady was at 50% for playing in the Super Bowl for his career. Which was fucking wild. Impressive. Now he's sitting at like 47% or something like that.
Yeah.
Or 46. Still fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild. Motherfucker.
It's like that graphic they used to play where they showed the AFC quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like Brady, Peyton, Brady, Peyton.
Yeah. Mahomes, Brady.
No, it was Roethlisberger.
Oh, yeah.
Roethlisberger like 3 times.
Yeah.
It was Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and then there was like one other guy in there once.
Flacco or something?
Might have been. But yeah, it was like every year. It was
for like 15 years, it was only 3 quarterbacks or something like that. Yeah. But, Brady's fucking goat, dude.
Yeah.
Brady's the best. I hope he comes back. He's not gonna, but I hope he comes back to the NFL in some capacity, and I hope it's something more than an announcer.
Yeah.
Even though I would like him to announce for like 2-3 years just so we can get that feel, and then just have him jump into it. Like Gruden, but not racist.
He was racist before he was an announcer. He was sending those emails when he was a coach.
Yes.
And even though they didn't say any specific racist terminology, they were very racist when you read them out loud.
I felt a little bite when I chugged a bunch of it. Not a whole lot, though. It's just like a tinge.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, just a little tinge. But it's gone instantly. Yeah, that was really good. Shout out Monster for killing the seltzer game. That was fucking delicious.
This is part of the podcast where we cough. You're a whiskey man.
I am.
So I saw a man explaining how you should drink your whiskey.
With the nose and the thing.
My favorite part of that video. So he pours a glass of whiskey.
Yeah.
He says, twirl it around and throw it out. Nowhere near him is a sink.
Oh yeah.
A bowl.
He goes like this.
He goes, swirl around and get rid of it, and just throws it. And he goes, you don't want any of the smells that were contained in the cap.
Yeah, you don't want there to be any kind of film from like the soap or anything that it was cleaned with, or nothing in there. You just want it to be a fresh.
But as he yeeted that whiskey, yeet right on Harry.
Yeah, right on the cat. Oh.
Look at the Harry moment. Brought to you by Harry.
Brought to you by Duke's Wells.
Duke's Wells. Dude.
Drop the banner. Also brought to you by Thor Snores.
Dude, he's been snoring this whole episode, and half the time I've just been like, God damn, shut the fuck up, bro.
I got a couple things.
Hell yeah.
So there was it's a TikTok. There was over 200 pounds of pasta thrown out in New Jersey, in a forest in New Jersey. Just like a line of like a bunch of different types of pastas. They had like spaghetti.
Raviolis.
I'll show you the video.
A crime against humanity has happened in New Jersey. What appeared to be 15 wheelbarrow loads of uncooked pasta weirdly turned up in the middle of the woods in Jersey's Old Bridge Township. The pasta shapes appear to range from spaghetti to elbows, with the piles estimated to weigh a few hundred pounds in total. And while the police continue to investigate, no one knows how the hell it got there and who's behind it. The pasta dump was called out by Nina Joknowitz, a local resident and advocate who posted the photos to a Facebook page as a way to call out the town's administration for the dumping of construction and other garbage in her neighborhood. In other posts, Joknowitz claimed the town's lack of bulk garbage pickup only exacerbated the issue. But if you're looking to make a a weird New Jersey pilgrimage to see the famous glutinous heaps, you're out of luck. They were quickly cleaned up by the town's public works department. Old Bridge Township claimed it only became aware of the illegally dumped pasta piles when the photos started circulating on social media platforms on April 28th. They reportedly never received any complaints or general reports from residents. The town also said the pasta was removed from its packaging and only became soft after exposure to the elements.
Yeah, so they found 400 pounds of pasta in the woods in New Jersey.
The fuck that.
And the Elks Lodge, maybe, allegedly, went out there and just dumped a bunch of pasta from a potluck or something.
Like
I don't even know, 400 pounds. All right, so let's say you're about to put on an event. You're the main fucking contact for this event, and you're like, X amount of people are coming. I need 600 pounds of pasta, and only 200 pounds of it are eaten. What do you do with the rest of it?
donate it to the homeless.
That's what I'm saying. Homeless shelter.
Yeah.
The fuck you dumping it in the woods? Maybe it was the fucking homeless shelter. Maybe they got 400 pounds of fucking pasta and they didn't have enough fucking homeless people in that little podunk town.
How do you transport 400 pounds of pasta?
Fucking Briggs truck? I don't know.
Because
an up-armored vehicle?
I was looking at those piles of pasta.
Yeah, they're huge.
And I was like...
Like multiple 5-gallon buckets. Like a bunch of them.
I was like, bro, that 2 pile right there could fit in my truck. And I'd have to go back
That's like the bed of your truck. You'd have to go back like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. So how did they get out there?
No idea.
And then how did they cook it? How big of the was it? And even if it was a prank, okay. So you go to like.
Could you imagine how elaborate that fucking prank would have to be?
You'd have to go to like Sam's Club and buy pasta by the bulk, and then even the biggest.
You'd have to go to multiple Sam's Club. I don't think.
But like,
I don't think Sam's Club has enough pasta for that.
Well. 400
400 pounds.
You're right. You'd have to buy every pasta box.
Because one
ounces.
box is
it's 16 ounces. Yeah, so it'd be 400 boxes of each of those pastas.
That's insane.
That's like a Mr. Beast prank, but he didn't do good. He just dumped 400 pounds of. Hey, I'm Mr. Beast, and I dumped 400 pounds of pasta in the woods. Like,
how do you cook that? What do you cook that in like a hot tub or something? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It has to be like some crazy thing, because
a
like
giant wok.
Or are you like, all right, 10 boxes, 10 pounds of pasta at a time.
A YouTuber heated his swimming pool to a fucking 160 degrees and just threw pasta in it, like
jacuzzi, and just all right, cover
multiple jacuzzis. I think. I think that pasta fills up 2 jacuzzis.
Some of those look sauced.
Yeah, so there's sauce in there for sure.
So that's another
X amount of weight.
Well, no, the sauce is part of the poundage already, but, you have to buy. You buy fucking 400.
Realistically,
You buy 400 boxes of fucking spaghetti. That's at least 400 fucking jars of spaghetti.
That's at least $1,000 worth of noodles.
Both.
Yeah.
No, it's $400 for the noodles. If you buy the dollar ones.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean that's $1,000 worth of food.
That's like $900.
It's crazy that $1,000 gets you 500 pounds or 400 pounds of pasta.
I have 4 kids.
Motherfuckers pay like $200 for like a 16-ounce Wagyu.
Look, man, when you're a one-income family, you have a lot. You have a lot of spaghetti.
A lot of spaghetti. A lot of fettuccine.
A lot of goulash.
A lot of
hamburger help. And then when mom goes back to work.
A lot of hamburger helper. A lot of Simply Salad.
When my mom went back to work, she worked second shift and my dad worked third shift. Mm-hmm. And the coolest shit about it was that I got an hour and a half every night during the week of unsupervised adult time where I would lock the door to the basement and I'd use the computer room all to myself researching. So
what were you researching? You had like a paper due or something?
Tons of papers, dude. Tons of papers.
Tons of papers.
So anyways, my dad started cooking, and there's things that my dad could definitely cook, but then he'd be like, hamburger helper. So we were like a hamburger helper family for like a solid like 2.5 years, and then I took home ec, and I was like, cooking's really easy.
Yeah, it's not hard.
And even in your most savage days of cooking, or you like cut open a chicken breast and you're like, oh, still pink in the middle, cook it a little bit more. Now you're like, oh, all you got to do is cook it for a specific time and then write down that time somewhere. So then you're like, oh, I always know that if I cook chicken for 20 minutes at this degrees, we're probably going to be good.
What was your favorite struggle meal growing up?
Cream of mushroom soup chicken.
Okay.
So
That's like that chicken that Chris was making. Or you bake it in with the cream of mushroom with like seasonings and cheese or whatever.
So ours was you take a can of cream of mushroom soup, you take your chicken breast, you take a separate. Sometimes you can just pour it in and mix it, but I like to do it in a bowl, so it's more of a consistency. But you take a can of cream of mushroom, pour it in a bowl. You fill that can up with water.
Yeah.
You pour it on the
Dilute
cream
it.
of mushrooms. You mix it all up, and then you season your chicken. You throw it in the pan, and then you cover it in the cream of mushroom,
Yeah.
and then halfway through you flip it.
Yeah.
And then on the side you have a can of veggies, and then if you're lucky, some potatoes.
If you're lucky, some potatoes.
And so I mean, like, we wouldn't really have struggle meals that bad because my mom was a great cook, and even
Well,
though,
they're still struggle meals.
Yeah.
Like you can be a great cook and cook good struggle meals.
I mean, like,
but
we
like you know,
like Sonic the Hedgehog.
okay.
So an easy meal for my mom that make for us was coney dogs. So she'd call them Sonic dogs. She'd be like, oh, we're getting Sonic dogs. We're like, holy shit. But then, like, they had to lie to me about pork chop and chicken because I didn't like pork chops. So they had to, they'd be like, it's fried chicken. I'm like, oh, it's great. And then one day my brother was like, this is pork. And I was like, oh, this is disgusting. Like, I just didn't like it.
Didn't like the idea of a pig.
And I don't eat pork chops because I know more about pigs.
Yeah, my dad ruined me when I was a kid about like all the bullshit that goes into it. If you want to look it up, you can fucking look it up.
Dude,
I'm not going to talk about it.
Hot dogs, along with everything that we know that we don't talk about that goes in a hot dog.
Yeah.
There is a recent news story that I saw where they tested X amount of hot dogs from X amount of companies. A lot of the big companies like Hebrew National, Ballpark. Those are the only two I can name.
Mm-hmm.
But they took X amount of brands of hot dogs, and 2% of human flesh was tested positive in hot dogs. And it was even greater yield in vegan hot dogs. So, like, this isn't meat. It's synthetic meat.
Fucking yucky,
So
dude.
they tested all these hot dogs, and the average was 2% human flesh was found in a hot dog. And that fucks me up, but I'm still gonna eat a fucking hot dog.
I saw a video, I think I might have sent it to you, where the guy cut a really thin piece of hot dog
And
and he put it under a microscope and there were like little hair follicles and he found a fucking fingernail follicle in it.
That's what
I was like, dog.
That's why you cook them.
You don't cook a fingernail out of a hot dog, bro.
All around a pig's ass is pork. All pig fuckers know that. That's what my grandpa used to say. Hot dogs are gross.
Yeah, bacon's fucking delicious.
But that's why you gotta get the all beef hot dogs.
Bacon's delicious. Burn ends are delicious. Pulled pork is delicious.
My fullness finally went away.
Mine, I'm still working on mine. We went to shout out Rocky Top,
Rocky
Jackson,
Top in
Michigan.
Jackson.
Phenomenal place, best barbecue place in town.
Yeah.
Great brisket, great sandwiches, great wings. It's all good stuff. It's good stuff. I ate a half a plate of brisket. Saved the other half for little munchies for later.
Ate 2 of 3 burn end tacos.
Yeah.
And
Burn ends are phenomenal too.
They took the burn ends, they put a little coleslaw and jalapeno, and then I took my cup of salsa and I rinsed it out.
Little barbecue
and then
sauce,
I
yeah.
filled it with some barbecue sauce, and I got that for my snacky food tonight.
Yeah, I did that with my little butter container, but I didn't clean out the butter container because butter and barbecue goes together.
It's not gonna do nothing to it.
Nah,
bad.
it's gonna probably make it taste better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
a
gonna be
little
rich in
more
butter.
rich flavor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what do I got here? Oh, did you see that clip that was going around of The Rock watching his dad wrestle?
No.
So I didn't know this, but The Rock's father,
And grandfather.
I didn't know his grandpa did though, but his father wrestled for the WWE.
So he's the 3rd generation wrestler.
So this is Rocky Johnson.
Okay.
This is The Rock's father.
Yeah, they did the documentary on him.
Yeah, and then This is little Dwayne watching his dad in the front row.
That's cool.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. I didn't realize that. I had no idea that there was like a lineage there for
Yeah, his
wrestling.
grandpa was a wrestler too.
Had no fucking idea.
Yeah, I was pretty heavy into wrestling. There's a That 70s Show episode where Dwayne The Rock Johnson plays his dad in the 70s show.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool as shit.
So the premise of the episode is
I can see Eric. Rocky Johnson.
well, yeah. So
Yeah.
in the episode, they have to have. I think they have to have their parents' permission to go to the wrestling match. But essentially, it's Red Foreman, it's Bob, and then it's Eric, Donna, Kelso, and Hyde, and Fez. Kelso. I don't know if it's Kelso, but anyways, Hyde is trying to buy beer the whole time.
Of course.
But essentially,
Really fits the bill
But
there.
essentially, Red and Eric get so into wrestling because Red just thinks this is stupid. They're faking it. But The Rock's in that episode, and he says something to Red, and Red's like, "Oh!" Just like the Star Wars scene where he was
yeah.
like, "Why does Eric like this crap?"
Yeah.
Whoa! You
Yeah.
know, like that's the same thing when I was a little kid, where I was just like, "Dude, A New Hope." When you the way A New Hope begins, by the way, when you see blaster doors and everyone's like, "Oh, get into position," and then you see a motherfucker with a lightsaber dressed
Comes
in a
out with a
fucking
fucking lightsaber,
battle
yeah.
suit, and he just wrecks them all. Probably one of the greatest intros in the Star Wars that sucked me in from day one. LOL.
Yeah. I think that was a really good one.
And then it's dope that they redid it for
Andor. No,
No,
not Andor. The other one. Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Yeah, Rogue
from
One.
the other angle.
Yep.
Which is super dope. But
They did a great job with it too.
yeah, and some people were like the buttons were wrong, but just seeing that one moment, that's exactly what got me into Star Wars, and the fact that Red's just like, oh, what? And then as soon as the space battles start going, and now we have the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing that we want to talk about: Lil Dicky is on his second season of Hi, I'm Dave or Dave.
Dave, yeah.
Dave.
Season 2? I thought it was season 3.
Might be season 3.
Could be season 3.
It's the current season.
Yeah,
of
whatever the
Dave.
current season. Cinco de Mayo 2023, current season.
So last night's episode, Dave's tour bus
Explodes.
just explodes. If you haven't seen it, spoilers.
Spoilers.
So if you're watching at this
That's
point,
in the very beginning.
if you're watching at this point, and you're like, I love that show, Dave, and I don't want to know what happens, it's been great seeing you. Because we're probably going to be talking about this for the next 5 minutes. So
At least.
yeah, so during the episode, his bus blows up. They wander through the desert. Some guy pulls up, records. Everybody thinks he's dead. Then the manager, played by Santino, he goes, "Hey, you're trending. LeBron follows you. Everybody follows you. Everything that you ever wanted is
And he's
coming."
like, LeBron follows me? And he starts
Yeah.
crying because
Yeah.
LeBron follows him.
yeah, and so I understand the gimmick.
Yeah.
How long do you think it would take you to tweet or anything to the world?
I think if I'm Lil Dicky famous and I'm
Yeah.
on tour and same scenario and we're walking with no cell service and I get to the place, log into the Wi-Fi, and I see it's trending that Lil Dicky's dead and I'm Lil Dicky. I think I wait till the next morning. And then maybe I don't go live on Instagram. Maybe I go. I think the park idea is a good idea. Or like a college campus. Go to like a college campus. Go to like UCLA or
How
like,
crazy would it be if you went to like a fucking live sporting event?
yeah, that'd be nuts. Or like you call like the NFL or someone, like if the NFL is in progress, you're like, hey, who do you got for your halftime show? I got a better one. It's me, Lil Dicky. I'm alive. Don't tell anyone. Tell them there.
Or
That would be a dope reveal.
so as me, I would probably call out someone like Tom Segura
Oh, get on the pod.
and be like, "Yo, Tom, I'm alive and everybody thinks I'm dead," and he'd be like, "What?" I'd be like, "Go Instagram Live and invite me to your Instagram Live."
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah. Like, could you imagine?
I'd call Rogan and be like, yo.
Well, yeah, Rogan, of course.
Be like, hey, I want to come on the podcast. He'd be like, bro, I thought you were dead. He goes, yeah, everyone does. Don't tell anyone until you post it.
I think he'd be down.
I think that's a good one.
I think you'd be doing an early Monday Rogan.
That would be the most viewed podcast Rogan's ever done, I think.
If he drops it and it's just like, Lil Dicky, I'm alive.
Yeah, Lil Dicky's alive! Exclamation point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lil Dicky found alive at the mothership.
It was cringy to watch, but I understood it from an artistic.
Yeah. From a business standpoint, I get it. Obviously, I think he did the right thing by calling his parents, even though his parents had no fucking idea.
It's like some of the people from 9/11 who haven't been found yet.
Yeah.
Some of them could have just said fuck it and started all over.
If you're all right, new scenario.
Okay.
You're Tupac. You faked your death.
Okay.
You're alive right now, living in the Cayman Islands or wherever the fuck you're at.
Yeah.
And you see Rogan's numbers are just popping. And you're like, fuck, I have like 8 albums worth of shit I could drop right now. I know I've been living off these royalties.
I would drop them on a Rogan podcast.
You have to. I think you call Rogan and you say, hey, dog.
You had your lawyer call Rogan's lawyers.
I just call Rogan straight up. I get Rogan's number somehow. Bert's going to give it to someone because Bert's a fucking idiot.
I would just have my lawyers call Rogan's lawyers and be like, hey, listen.
Call this number.
Have Rogan call this number if he wants to talk to Tupac. FaceTime. Yeah. If you tell anybody, like, first of all, hey, you
have him sign an NDA first.
Yeah. And then you FaceTime Rogan and say, hey, listen, and then we're going to give you $10,000 to take a 2-minute FaceTime. And he'd be like, okay. And then
you set up the pod.
Yeah, and
then you're like, dude, I'm coming to Austin, and I'm gonna perform at the mothership.
Yeah,
just a new song that I've created over
shit.
The last 30 years,
There'd
40
be riots.
Years. It'd be insane.
It'd be riots.
It'd be insane.
Yeah,
the tickets would sell for $10,000 a piece.
And then it's also weird though that with the Challenger that blew up.
Oh yeah.
The tragedy.
All those guys.
They're just professors.
In the same field that they were in before.
Yeah. Alleged conspiracies, but
yeah.
Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, so that one, it was the Challenger blew up, and all the people that were on it, there were like doppelgangers that had the exact same professions, some at the same college that they were at before.
Well, no, they got, they were all in the same profession, almost doing the same thing at different colleges across the country.
And one of them was like, they just got lazy with him. One of them was like, oh, long lost twin brother of this guy.
Yeah.
Looks just like him, same profession, not the same guy.
Yeah.
Like, it's just lazy.
It's wild.
Just lazy.
Conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I love them.
I love them to death, too.
What else? I got a stumper for you that I don't think you're going to get.
All right.
I don't think you're going to get this one.
All right.
All right, so it says, do you know baseball? What is the situation in the game?
Okay. So the picture that you're seeing is a clock, a shot being poured, looks like an empty bottle, a titty is out, and it looks like a toilet. So the clock says 4 o'clock. So bottom of the fourth. Runner on second. I don't know.
All right, so you ready for it?
Yeah.
It's 4-5.
Oh, fuck.
Bottom of the fifth.
Damn.
1 out. No one on. Isn't that fucking good, dude?
That's real good.
That's clever as shit. I saw that on Facebook, and I was like, "Yo, yeah, you had the right direction."
I thought there were two pictures.
Yeah, you had the right direction. I was like, "Damn, that's good." Bottom of the fifth. Yeah. That's such a good bottom. 1 out.
Yeah.
No one on.
A tit's out, and then a toilet. I was like,
"That's
no runners."
Dude.
I was like, one runner on second.
Yeah. 1 out, no one on. Like bottom of the fifth. That's so good.
That's a good one.
That's good.
I like that.
That's great.
That was a great cut stopper. I'm happy to lose that. Cheers.
Yeah, that was a solid one. That was a solid one. In other news, we have Breath of the Wild 2 coming out next week.
Tear of the Kingdom.
Yeah. So we're taking a week off, right? Because you're gonna be gone.
Yeah, so there's going to be no new episode the weekend of the 10th through the 14th.
Yeah.
So no episode filming on Friday. I'll be at a wedding in Utah.
Yeah. By the time you're watching this, he's probably at the wedding.
So the following episode will be released. Will be filmed, I think, on the 23rd.
Yeah,
probably
somewhere around
uploaded
there.
that same weekend, and then we'll be talking about Tear of the Kingdom,
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to most in it?
exploring.
Exploring, yeah.
It's just like
I heard you can be a little more creative with the landscapes and
So-
building wise.
So a huge thing with these Legend of Zelda games is it's a lot of this is how I win,
Yeah.
and it's not always the coolest way, and but
Sometimes it's a little cheesy.
yeah, but it's the fact that you're gonna explore and be like, holy shit, I can't believe that just happened.
Yeah.
Holy shit, did you know you could do this? And through playing that game as much as we played Animal Crossing and the original Breath of the Wild, there gets
Breath
to
of the Wild.
the Breath of the Wild, there gets to a point where you're about 20, 30 hours in, where you've gotten the flow of the game. You don't have everything unlocked hardly at all, but now you can just do whatever you
Play
want.
the game.
Yes. And so I'm excited to hit the point where I've understood the cooking, combat, armor, areas, bosses, and
Building, hopefully. I hope there's a building aspect to it where you can build a home
the Sheikah
or build a...
Slate.
Yeah.
And then everything you can do with those combos. Once I get the flow of the game, which, just like a link to the Past was a prequel, not a prequel, but the sequel was a Link Between Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Such similar mechanics that these two games will probably follow the same.
I mean, they're
exact-
definitely going to have the glider still.
Yeah.
That's got to be a thing. Master Sword, obviously.
Well, yeah, but there's also what there. I saw them doing a whole bunch of like things that were bad with the other game that they're improving for this game with the gliding and stuff.
Like mechanics or...
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm excited just to build my dude up to where you can finally just be like, I don't have to wait to explore this area.
Yeah, I'm
I-
high enough level to where I can go in there and not really worry. Like,
Or
some
like-
people could fuck me up if I'm not paying attention, but I'm...
Like I understand it, but I hate like you'll start the game probably in some fucking shorts and a ratty t-shirt,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, I'm cold, can't
Yeah.
explore in the snow.
I hope so. So if I my wish list, my top 3 things I want are customization of character. Obviously, I know it's Link, and you can't really like give him a beard or dreadlocks or anything. But like, I hope there's more customization
For
for
armor.
like armor, tunic, shoes, cap. Because like before, you have like the fire tunic, the water tunic, stuff like that. It just changes the color and gives you abilities in certain places.
it's probably gonna be the same.
I hope
because-
there's some type of like forgery involved as well, where you can like
improve
create
your armor.
create armor, create
Custom
side
paint.
weapons, build arrows, so you're not just like buying everything all the time. And for my third and probably the most important one, I really hope that there's a like world customization aspect, like almost like The Sims or like Valheim, or where you go chop down trees to get logs, you split the logs, and now you can build a home with the logs.
Yeah.
Like I hope there's something like that. I think that would be cool, where you can build like home bases, you can sleep to regain health, you can make a little kitchen. Like I hope there's a lot of customization involved in that, if they even have it.
My 3 hopes. Number 1, I hope the cooking's still lit.
It's gotta be.
So one of
It's
my
gotta be.
favorite things last game.
Dude, the durians.
Number 2 is I like the improvement of the enemy attacking, as in
Oh, yeah.
formations,
Yeah.
flanking, making it harder, how do
Yeah,
I
like their tactics.
Sort of like you have like a Metal Gear Solid Siphon filter, Cypher Cell. What's the one where you're like you got the night vision, you're the dude, Splinter Cell.
Yep.
Like one of those aspects, like there were a couple caves where you would stumble upon some guys. You're like, if I shoot this lamp down, it'll blow up. I love those. I love using the environment around to fuck people up. And probably the one thing that I hope is the best in the game is probably the overall combat.
Yeah.
I hope there's more varieties of combos you can do.
So I've seen a lot of stuff. Obviously, when we played it, it was 2017 when it came out.
Yeah,
And then on into 2018, I played it. But
I'm buying the DLC this year.
Yeah, I mean, I bought it last year too. I got the bike, and that was kind of the end of it. And the bike wasn't even that dope. The fucking big horse was cooler. But
I can't wait to find all the like secret things.
oh, like all the seeds,
Yeah.
all the little puzzle rooms.
There's one dude who 100%ed it a couple of years ago. He was the first person to get every
Yeah.
single item, and I don't think I'll ever do that with a Legend of Zelda game anymore.
It's too big.
I think the last Legend of Zelda game that I got every single thing was probably A Link to the Past. And that's because when I had a Game Boy Advance, and I had that game for the Game Boy Advance, I played that game so many times.
What was the one where you sail on the ship to the islands?
Wind Waker.
Wind Waker. That was probably the last one that I did.
Yeah, and what's crazy is I have the original save file date,
Yeah.
which was 2009 from the last time
That's
I played
crazy.
through it, and
That's
I haven't
crazy.
opened up that game yet.
Oh, we should open that tonight.
Totally dope.
I'm
Totally
down.
dope. Yeah.
What else do you got on there for games?
For the GameCube,
Yeah.
Pokemon
Play
Blue.
some GameCube games tonight?
I think the other controllers down.
Can we play Quidditch against each other? Is that
We
a
can.
two-player?
It's 2-player. For
I'm
sure.
down. I've never played the Quidditch one.
It's really easy.
I know, I'm sure. I'm
And
just
then
down
once,
to play.
and like basically, it's volleying with the red ball.
Yeah.
God, I should know what this is.
The bludger, the beater, the...
Whatever it is. So it's basically going back and forth like that, and then we can even play that on the projector and plug it straight in. But
We're just planning the rest of our night on the pod.
yeah, but no. And then when the seeker hits, I think there's a button tapping or something method where your guy gets faster than the other guy, and then they get and then
Probably like a sequence. It's like press this, press this, press this.
it might
press
even be
this,
just
press
hammer
this.
though.
It could be a hammer. I could see it being like it pops up and you have to press it fast, and whoever presses
Double
it
dash is
first
still
gets a little.
expensive to buy though.
Dude, that was such a good game, man. What's your? Let's do a draft of GameCube games.
And like
You
what-
can go first. We'll
and
do
like-
3.
And like once you draft it,
It's off the board.
okay.
So like you get them. I can't play them.
Okay, so mine's going Legend of Zelda Wind Waker for number 1.
Wind Waker's your number 1.
Yeah.
That's a good one. There's so many good ones. I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go with Super Smash Bros.
It's a great one too.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, there's a bunch of other ones I could have went with for round 1, but
number 2, I'll probably go Pikmin, because when I was a little kid I had Pikmin. I don't have it anymore, but I really liked that game when I was a little kid, and I thought it was a dope series. That was a GameCube exclusive,
Yeah.
and I thought it was just... No, actually, I take that back. I will go Mario with this one, and I will go with Super Mario Galaxy.
that was a good one.
Because Super Mario Galaxy...
That was going to be my
Rosalina-
next pick if you picked
Yeah, so
Pikmin.
let me take that back. Let me go with Super Mario Galaxy because, again, came out for the GameCube. I tried to play Mario Sunshine.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't great at it.
It's fun. It's fun. I had that one too. For my
You,
second,
you can go 2-3 because you're never going to get my 3 because...
I go 2, 3.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
can go 2-3 because my 3 you won't get.
So I'm gonna go Double Dash for my 2
Okay.
because Double Dash is fucking phenomenal.
Yep.
And then I think for my 3, now the Resident Evil game was really good on.
I have it.
Yeah, the Resident Evil game was really
I
good
have the
for
remastered Double Disc
GameCube.
series because, it's GameCube, so they had to come with 2
But
discs.
I didn't really enjoy it all that much as a child. And that's what I'm basing this off, like how much I enjoyed it as a kid.
Yeah.
And I think I have to go with Star Fox Adventures.
Ooh, that's a great one.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
dinosaur that follows you around. You get
Yeah.
the little baddie fox chick that kicks it with you. And
So mine is technically a remastered, and so for the PlayStation 1, Metal Gear Solid, it was, I believe, Sons of Liberty. No, that was the second one. So it was Metal Gear Solid, I think Twin Snakes. It was the one on the GameCube. So it was a remaster of Metal Gear Solid 1 that came out for the PlayStation. But since the GameCube had not only a faster processor, it had extra buttons. I know the PlayStation controller still had 2 R1, R2, L1, L2. But the main difference between the PlayStation and because when I was younger, I had 3 demo discs. Okay, and there's a game that I can find if I Google it really hard where this little boy runs around in the forest and you jump on pigs and when you jump on top of the pigs' heads, like that's how you like kill them, just like Mario. And you could play through like 30 minutes of the game and get pretty far, and then you'd make it to like the first pig. It was a guy with pig hair. It's a real game. I would play the fuck out of that. There's this weird zombie game I would play. It came on like a PlayStation disc that had a red 1 and a blue 2, and you would put them in, and then you could play that game. That was sick. And then on one of these demo discs was Metal Gear Solid, where you could play the first mission, and then as soon as you rode the elevator to get to like a cutscene, the game would end. It would be like,
Okay.
oh, that's the game ending. So I played that so many times as a fucking kid. And then when I was old enough to tell my parents I wanted a GameCube. So they put it on layaway, which is just different than credit. Because instead
You don't get it in the beginning. Yeah, which sucks.
So
Putting shit on layaway was the worst.
So I
bro.
put a GameCube on layaway, and every week my mom would take me to Meijer, and I would take my $10 and put it on layaway. And I bought a GameCube. Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes came out, and you could go first person if you held one of the buttons, which you could never do in the other one.
Yeah.
So, maybe you could, I just never did. But what's crazy about that game is the GameCube has 4 controller ports. The PlayStation has 2. So you face a boss called Mantis. Mantis is a psychic who can read your mind. So if you go to first person to look at him, your screen goes fuzzy. So you can't ever go first person when you fucking shoot him, because if you go first person to look at him, he'll disappear off of your fucking visuals. So as I'm playing this as a child for the first time with a GameCube, he's like, ooh, I'm going to look at your memory card. And he's like, you like Crash Bandicoot? And I was like, how the fuck does he know that I've been playing Crash Bandicoot? And then he's like, oh, you like... And he said another game. I was like, what the fuck? And so essentially what happens in the game is all of your controls stop doing what they're supposed to be doing, and you have to pull the controller out of the port and plug it into another fucking port, and then you can start doing damage again until he reads your mind again, and then he'll be like, oh, you like Double Dash, and you're like, oh fuck, and then you switch the controller ports again, and just that aspect of doing that as a child with a GameCube,
That's pretty cool.
was and Metal Gear and shout out to Hideo Kojima. That was probably one of the dirtiest done wrong doings in the history of anything. He won an award for how great the Phantom Pain was, which was technically the last series he would ever do for the Metal Gear Solid series, even though he started it. And they did not let him accept the award. So everybody was booing at the award show. And he's the one who does the Death Stranding, which I'm not going to play. But I think I'm going to take an afternoon where I watch the story.
Okay.
Because it's got Daryl from The Walking Dead.
Great.
And I heard it's a great story, and I heard there's a cinematic version of the new game that came out. So
I'm a fan of cinematic video games.
And the thing is, Metal Gear Solid is one of the greatest cutscene cinematic, just fucking...
Yeah, it's an OG.
It's crazy. And it's a story, like, you play the Nintendo... Hideo Kojima had sayings in the game, in the Nintendo games, where you're, like, almost like Contra. You're overhead, you shoot little balls at people, like fucking 2D overhead. He had this vision of a story. And then all the way when we got brand new Xboxes in 2017 and the Phantom Pain came out, finally tied together that fucking Nintendo series with this series and explained it all.
Yeah.
The fact that motherfucker had a vision in like the 80s, 90s when you couldn't even do a cutscene in a video game, and then tied it all together in 2017 is a masterpiece. And then Kojima, not Hideo Kojima, but the Fox logo, whatever the fuck it is, whatever the gaming company is.
No idea.
I just can't think of what it is. Said, oh, no, you're done. You can't accept the award. We're not going to let you. I was like, oh, that makes me so sad for the series because they just did them wrong, dude.
That is annoying. I don't really have anything else. We could do another draft if you want.
Yeah, I mean, we can do a draft or we can end it
What
right
are we at right now?
115.
115. Let's do one more. Let's do. Do you have a 360?
Yeah, I did.
Xbox?
I had an Xbox. So 360. Well, yeah, definitely. So
Let's do 360.
You get first. You get first overall.
I get first pick on the 360. Man, I'm gonna go. Fuck, I should have thought about it more before I brought it up. I'm gonna do. Let's do Halo 3.
Damn, dude.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think Halo 3 is the head and shoulders.
Yeah. So if you're going that, then I definitely have to go with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
Halo 3 was my number one multiplayer. It's so
For
good.
my 2, which could have been my number 1, but I thought you were going to take Halo, so I went with Halo. I'm going with Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Damn, that's a really good one too,
Yeah.
man. That's a
That could have been my number 1, and I thought for sure you were going to take it, but obviously your pick was fucking gangster too.
I mean, Modern Warfare. I threw so many hours on that game.
So many.
Halo is a really good one because at the time it was one of the best shooters.
It was that and Call of Duty were like the two majors.
So probably my number 2 for the 360 will have to be. It's tough because like at the time, that came out for the PS2, so that was Xbox. So this is tough because you're thinking of it not only exclusives but just games you had in general.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with 2K9.
Okay.
NFL 2K9.
That's a good one. Was that the one that Jordan was on the cover for?
No, like NFL.
Oh, NFL. Wasn't that 2K5?
No, like Terrell Owens was on the cover.
Yeah, I thought that was 2K5.
It might be 2K5. Let's see when T.O. was on the cover.
I think it was 2K5 because I don't think because Madden got the thing after that.
I said 2 cover 2K, and it said, and I have this. They don't know Terrell Owens. 2K cover.
Yeah. I tried to look up TO
2K5.
stats.
2K5.
Yeah, it was 5. That's
I
what
think
I thought.
2K5
Yeah.
was one of my favorite video games.
2K5 was one of the greatest football games to ever be made.
Yep.
You know what? This one doesn't get enough love, and I'm going to give it love because I played the fuck out of this game. The Bigs 2.
Good one.
It was a baseball game, arcade style, and it was so much fun. And I played it when I was in high school, and I beat it. So what you do when you beat it is you come up into the league as a dude with 0 stats, and you're in like the minors. You're playing for some team in Mexico. And you show out in Mexico, and then you get drafted by a team. It's your favorite team. Whatever team you put in is what the team you get drafted by. Mm-hmm. And then there's a bunch of arcade-style games you have to play. You have to hit for the cycle. You have to go for you have to get a double play in one of them. You got to hit 3 home runs in one of them. A bunch of crazy ones you have to do. And then after you do that, you play through, and then you retire. And it's like, sweet, you beat the game. Good job. And I was like, dope. Turn off the Xbox. Good to go. Fucking 3 years later, I'm sitting there in Clovis, New Mexico with my childhood 360 sitting underneath my TV because that's what we used to watch DVDs on. And I'm like, you know what? I have this game. I'm just going to start a new fucking thing, but I'm going to reminisce and I'm going to go through my old character stuff real quick. Just check it out because he was I made him a shortstop because Derek Jeter was my favorite player growing up because he was a fucking beast.
Kalamazoo, Michigan.
He was decked out from head to toe, had like 5-star everything, was just gangster at everything. And I went on there and I was like, man, I wish I could play a game. And then I saw in the bottom corner, it said the Canton League. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Or not the Canton League. There's like the Hall of Fame League. And so what it is to make it into the Hall of Fame, you have to play with Hall of Fame hopefuls. So guys that were really good in the MLB that aren't in the Hall of Fame. So at the time it was like Derek Jeter, A-Rod, like all these gangster fucking players. Pete Rose and Barry Bonds, I think, were in there, if I remember correctly. And you have to play against the Hall of Fame team. And it's dude like Lou Gehrig, Yogi Berra, like all these badass, Tony Gwynn, Griffin Jr., Like, just all these gangsters that, like, if you threw the wrong pitch,
It's done.
yard every time. Like, you had to play perfect. It was basically like playing the game on legendary mode, and it was really tough. And I was like, this is sick. I get to complete my childhood game because I didn't know that was there when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I got to play through it, and it was a lot of fucking fun. I love that game. I hope they remake it.
I'm pretty sure this is at Tiger Stadium because I've been to Old Tiger Stadium before it was tore down when I was real little.
We have to go to Tiger Stadium this year too.
That's Comerica Park now.
Whatever. Same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Well, yeah, it used to be called Tiger Stadium.
Yeah. Same.
So, but I do remember, just a quick little recap after this. I went to my dad worked corrections.
Yeah.
Somebody that he worked with, both of the brothers, there are two brothers that are MLB umpires, and the guy was like, "Hey, do you want tickets behind home plate?" So twice for two different Seattle teams, I sat behind home plate.
Nice. Did you get to see Ichiro play?
I got to see Ken Griffey Jr. play.
Oh, that's dope.
And my brother had a Ken Griffey Jr. jersey because Ken Griffey Jr.
was the man.
My brother was a baseball addict at
He
the
was
time.
the fucking
He
man.
was
Ken Griffey was that guy.
Yeah, and then I'll never forget the Ichiro game though, because I grew up very sheltered in a little small town community with a school with like a 98% white race through the statistics of the community, and there were so many Japanese people at the game that they had their own fan section cheering Ichiro.
That's crazy.
So
Ichiro.
every time he would
Ichiro.
get up to plate, everybody behind us would be going Ichiro, and I was just like, yo, like this is crazy that like, because I've never been to a home game where I've seen so
many people cheering for someone on the other team.
Yeah, and so that's and at the time, I've never seen so many people from Japan
in one spot.
Much
less a baseball game.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so my mind
yeah.
was blown as a little kid, just going, I can't believe this many Japanese people live in Michigan or are here at the same time watching this motherfucker destroy the Tigers.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, I've been to a Ken Griffey Jr. game, and I've been to an Ichiro game.
I went to my first baseball game I ever went to was an A's game, and it was A's Mariners. And I want to say this was like 2002, maybe a little before then. I think it was before then because I think my parents were still together. But Jason Giambi was still in Oakland A.
Yeah.
And I remember I watched this first at bat, and I was like, dang, this is really cool. And then I was with this kid. I'll just say his name because I haven't talked to him in fucking 20 years. His name was Zach Ratley. His dad, they were our neighbors. And he was like 4 years older than me, and I used to kick it with him every weekend. Like every chance I could. He taught me how to ride a bike, all that shit. His dad was like a surgeon of some sort and had a bunch of money. They used to have like this yacht that during like the winter he didn't want to pay the marina fees, so they would park it. He would get like clearance from the city and he'd park it in our little, it wasn't a cul-de-sac, but it was on a turn, and the turn like bowled out, and so like my house was here, his house was on the beginning of the bowl, and his driveway was slanted like that down into the house, so he couldn't park it in his driveway, so he had to get like clearance to park it on the street. And we used to kick it in there and like listen to music and shit. Anyways, we're at this game, and Zach was like, yo, dude, do you want to go get a fucking foam finger? And I was like, yeah, I want a foam finger. I'm there with my glove.
Yeah.
And I have like popcorn and a hot dog, and I smashed a hot dog.
Yeah.
And it's like the third inning, and we go up, get the foam finger and like a snow cone, and we're walking back, and his dad's just looking at me like this, shaking his head. And I was like, what happened? And he goes, dude, the moment you guys left, Giambi hit a foul ball, went right up over the net, dropped right in front of my seat, and then bounced 20 rows back. And I have never, since that day, I've been to like 15 baseball games since then, never have I ever left my seat to do anything other than go to the bathroom.
Depending on where I sit and what kind of a game it is, and now that they have the extended netting,
I just haven't. Like I no matter where I'm at, even if I'm sitting like at 500 feet back in like the nosebleeds in the outfield, I still just sit there for the whole game just in case. Because the one time I fucking left, it dropped right at my feet, and I wasn't there to catch it. Because that's a fly ball. That's
got kid's dream. Dude.
I got a Giambi ball.
Yeah. Yeah, I was lucky enough to where my brother at one point in my life would just buy my ticket, but my parents would buy their tickets, and then
nice.
Every year on my birthday for like 9 years in a row, they won.
That's
crazy.
cool.
Where like they just kept winning, and then when I was like,
so this year for your birthday, if they're playing, we got to drop some money on it.
when I was like 19 or something, or when I went to my first Tigers game after being away or something, we went to a Tigers game and they lost on my birthday for the first time, and I was like, damn, dude, that was such a good streak. But the cool thing was I got to meet we went to a field day and got to meet Kenny Rogers, Justin Verlander I have a photo with. But I got to see like so many great players play over the years that like I was just fortunate enough to be like, oh, I was seeing Dice Clay Matsusaki, I think is his name, versus I forget who was pitching for Detroit. But I got to see Gary Sheffield play for Detroit. I got to see Johnny Damon play for Detroit. Miguel Cabrera, Maglio Ordonez. Like basically like there was a good probably from like 2005 to 2012. I went to a game every single year on my birthday.
That's dope.
So I just got to see like a bunch of dope Tigers.
I rarely got to go. I got to go with them a bunch. The Ratleys, they were really nice. Shout out to his parents. They were dope. I actually saw his mom in the local Panda Express when I was a shitty little skater kid. Like 5 years after I used to kick it with their kid. And I saw her and she was like, Dusty? And I was like, hey, what up? And she was like, oh, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm in school. You know what's funny? Last time I kicked it with that kid, this is kind of a funny story. It was my first experience with an airsoft gun. So our street was like the corner or whatever. And where his house was at was the main road. Like, so he had a fence. And then on the other side of the fence was sidewalk and then main road. And that main road, I used to drive it every day to go to my high school. And I went there. My dad dropped me off there because I got his number. And it was my first, I had a Boost mobile phone, and it was only good for like 50 texts a month. And I texted him, and I was like, hey man, my dad's got to drop me off somewhere, otherwise I have to go to work with him in downtown Sac. Can I kick it with you for like 4 hours? And he goes, yeah man, come over. So I go over to his house, and he's in high school, like a junior maybe, and we're sitting there chilling, jumping on his trampoline in his backyard, and we used to do this game, because he had one of those spike ball trees in his backyard, and it was right above the trampoline. So he would jump up, grab a spike ball, hit the trampoline again, jump up, and fucking huck it at a car. Like as hard as we could. And it would go bink, and then as soon as you throw it, you'd have to fall back on your back. So otherwise you'd jump up, and you'd be up again. And so we'd throw it, drop to our back, and then just sit there, and then we'd hear people yell, and then the light would turn green, and they would just have to go, because they're not going to stop traffic for a spike ball.
Yeah.
And so he stuck his airsoft gun through a hole in the fence and unloaded a magazine. 15 of these rounds went into this lady's lap.
Jesus.
But it was such a shitty airsoft gun that they just kind of like dinked onto her lap. And she's like, what are these beads? And the husband knew exactly what it was because he was like a loser that did airsoft on the weekend. He grabbed him and was like looking over the fences, and we saw it through the hole what he was doing. He checked the neighbors, and then he got down and was going to check this one, like ours. And so we fucking barrel rolled under the trampoline, and we're just hiding, just holding our breath. And he's looking over, and he's like looking down into the trampoline like this, and then looking into the windows. And then he gets down, and we go inside, and we're chilling there, and I'm drinking a Mountain Dew in his room, and we hear the doorbell ring, and he looks at me, he goes, fuck. And I was like, what? He goes, you should probably leave. And I was like, okay. So I got my bag and I cleaned everything up. And by the time I was like walking out of his backyard, out the side yard, he was in the side yard sitting crisscross applesauce on the ground with his airsoft gun in his hand and a hammer in the other hand. And he looked at me and he just shook his head. And that was the last time I saw that kid. Never hung out with him again.
Hilarious.
Never talked to him again, ever. Yeah, goofy as shit. But yeah, that spike ball shit was so much fun when I was little. I was like 8 years old, like grabbing them. Like, ah!
Me and Aaron used to throw dirt clods at cars.
Dirt clods are funny.
And then,
dirt clods break though. That's the cool thing about them. Is
yeah.
They just bust apart.
And so we hit a car and it stopped, and we like got down, and then we like split up because he definitely saw us run away.
Yeah.
And as I was just like running in like, because we were just like in running clothes, because hey, I'm gonna go run for cross country.
Yeah, whatever.
He was just like, were you with another kid today? I was like, no, I just started running. He's like, oh, okay, I'll see you later. And I was like, okay, bye. And I was like, and I called Aaron. I was like, dude, he fucking found me. And then I just didn't turn on my road, and I just kept running. So I did like an extra mile loop, and then he would turn, and then I turned back around and found my way home.
Hilarious.
It was so scary.
That's funny. Yeah, that we used to do dirt clod wars and shit back in the day when I was a kid too. And those
were
you'd always
great.
get that one asshole that would pick like the rocky dirt clods.
Yeah.
And they just come across your face and just felt like someone punched you.
We'll end on this. We used to do this thing in track before warm-ups where we would throw like little gummies, like 100 yards, or like down giant hills, and I would just be like down there.
Oh
like,
yeah,
catching
yeah,
them.
yeah.
And then one time I saw one, and
Chill.
I was like, that's coming really fast, and it was a rock.
Oh
I
yikes.
was like, who's the asshole that threw the rock? But
There's
yeah.
always that asshole. There's always that asshole that freezes his paintballs.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers to the pod.
Yep.
Thanks for watching, guys.